Ultimately, it was management. I don't know the right word to say it right now, but it's not a way you would want somebody treating your 18-year-old daughter. He propositioned me to invite me over to the hotel to meet and speak with him.
Did Matthew try to sleep with you, Farrah?
Okay, hold on a sec. That's some hot topic cooking on today's episode, and we cannot wait to serve it. Beyoncé's father and manager of the former girls group Destiny's Child has come under the radar for reportedly being aggressive and perhaps even sexually abusive towards former Destiny's Child member Farrah Franklin. To understand what is really going on with these people, we first have to know the backstory, so please stick with me on this one. Destiny's Child was a phenomenal group of young girls managed by Matthew Knowles, father to the most Grammy Award winner of all time, Beyoncé. Beyoncé was also part of this group, and many things happened that didn't surface in public hearings until some time ago. We all know that Destiny's Child eventually disbanded, and everyone pursued their dreams. But before that final breakup, members had been leaving the group due to compromising reasons. In Farrah's case, she left a few months after joining because Matthew Knowles had been rude to her. She claims that Matthew was loud with her and spoke to her in ways that were improper for someone just recovering from a severe illness.
I mean, ultimately, it was management. I don't know the right word to say it right now, but it's not a way you would want somebody treating your 18-year-old daughter fresh out of the hospital from stomach flu and dehydration.
And not just that.
It just started getting more where I guess I wasn't saying anything. Like I said, I was just taking it, and like you said, I'm on the outside.
To be honest, this is insane. Who would have thought Matthew Knowles was capable of doing something like that? Well, if you feel the same way, it's about to get a lot shadier. Not only was Matthew Knowles mean to young Farrah, but she also insinuated that Matthew also tried to harass her sexually. Take a look at this.
I haven't met too many people in my life who haven't liked me. I'll just put it like that.
Oh my goodness. Did I hear what Farrah said that she didn't say? Okay guys, here's what led to that confession you just watched. Farrah claimed that Matthew invited her to the office to talk about things. And when she came around, he tried to have sex with her. If Matthew Knowles was doing this to Farrah, what else could have happened in the group that people aren't talking about? Well, Farrah doesn't stop there, as she tells us so much more about what was happening in Destiny's Child. The 42-year-old singer also said that a high level of favoritism went on in the group, but mainly in Queen B's favor. This is what she had to say on Wendy Williams' show.
That's how they wanted me to look.
What else would they do to ugly you up?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but I did have to tan a lot.
Tan a lot. Because they wanted Beyonce to be the lightest one?
Michelle, and Kelly tanned sometimes.
So not only did Matthew mistreat Farrah, but the management also made every other girl bow to Beyonce by putting them under activities that Beyonce was exempt from, such as making everyone else tan while leaving Beyonce to stay light or tan at her own will. Beyonce had more power over the other girls, as seen in the video where Beyonce tells Farrah what to do.
You might have to go straight to the airport.
Okay,
I don't have no luggage.
I'm rolling.
But it's better for you to go home than not have luggage.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Because where y'all coming out there?
Well, somebody can send your luggage.
But then I'm going to have to wait for 4 days before I get all my stuff.
Now that is bossy indeed. So is this the reason Farrah left Destiny's Child? Well, there's actually more to the narrative, especially when we hear from Matthew's side, after he went on to say that Farrah wasn't ready for what it took to be an A-list artiste at the time. Matthew also spoke about how Farrah was sneaking out to clubs. This information, however, came through Michelle, who snitched Farrah to Matthew. Now that's not supposed to be cool, but Matthew Knowles saw it differently, as he claimed that Michelle did what was best for the group.
Well, I think she looked at the bigger picture of what was best for the group, which that they had always had this team approach to success, that no one of them was stronger than than a team, than a group. And I admire what she did. I don't consider it a snitch, because had she not revealed that, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking about Destiny's Child.
But looking closely at what Matthew has mentioned so far, we realize that he has an entirely different thing to say about Farrah's leaving Destiny's Child. First, he refuted the claim that he was loud with her. Instead, he said that he may have spoken with energy sometimes, but he didn't think that was enough to get her out of the group.
She thought I was getting loud at her? Come on, man. I'm sure there was sometimes I had energy with what I said. She didn't say that I cursed her. She didn't say I made any type of innuendos type of approaches to her. She said something as much as, I got loud. Wow, somebody left the group, left $50 million on the table because Matthew Knowles got loud with them. Oh my goodness.
According to former Destiny's Child manager, Farrah disappeared, and they tried to reach her. Matthew also said that after several attempts to reach her family, she finally answered one day and told them that she had quit the group. At this point, everyone accepted Farrah's decision to no longer be a part of the group. Beyoncé also told fans that Farrah wasn't meeting up with promotional schedules and continually expressed a lack of interest in being part of the group. And as such, they realized that they had to continue without her.
We have nothing against her, but we just felt like we can continue on as a trio, and that's what we're doing.
And Matthew claimed it wasn't the management decision, but the group's.
If you go back, and I'm gonna make sure I send you a photo, it has 11 girls in girls' time. So, and this was before me. So I had nothing to do with these changes. It's just always been that. It's the only thing that's always been consistent is Beyoncé and Kelly.
But Farrah also denied all these in her interview, as she clearly pointed out that what Beyoncé said was a lie. She stated that she couldn't have missed shows as they claimed because she enjoyed her time on the stage.
Yeah, well, that's not true. I've never missed a show, ever, or I would have got kicked out the group. You know how much I was getting paid to do a show, and that's the best part of my day? I'm not missing any shows. But when I leave the group, they weren't honest with people and say that I left. You can't say I'm missing shows if I'm no longer a part of the group anymore. That's a lie.
So what is this then? Was Mr. Knowles' abuse that led to Farrah quitting the group? Or was it because Farrah just couldn't keep up with the heat? Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But before then, there is something we also need to consider when looking at Farrah's claims about the group. And it's the fact that Destiny's Child already had 2 members who left the group and had a fallout with Matthew Knowles before Michelle and Farrah joined the group. According to records, Destiny's Child began with 2 kids, Beyoncé and Latavia Marie Robertson. After the 2 met at an audition in Houston, Latavia joined Beyoncé, and both started a group. Later on, bass cousin Kelly Rowland moved down to Houston and lived with her parents. This was how she came to be part of the group. However, it wasn't long before Matthew Knowles came on board to manage the girls after they lost the competition. At this time, he introduced Luckett to the group to replace other members. After several years, we find that Farrah and Michelle replaced Luckett and Robertson. Now, the thread we're pulling here is based on the possibility that people may have been quitting the group because of Beyoncé and her father. But is this the truth? After all, Matthew Knowles mentioned that the stable people in the group were Beyoncé and Kelly. So could it be that the girls were just unserious about their careers? Well guys, the law had something else to say about that. Apparently on March 15th, 2000, the 2 singers Luckett and Robertson filed a lawsuit against Matthew for kicking them out of the group while they attempted to seek new management. According to the 2 singers, they claimed that they had recorded the 1990 hit song as a group just to discover that the music video was released and they saw 2 new ladies playing their part.
What was that like though when you heard that they'd shot a video for a song you sang on without you?
I was like, nah, you playing, shut up. I was like, hold on. I was like, it's not true. Then we got another call and we heard it again. Then the next thing I'm looking at BET.
So Matthew actually did that? Wow. But as usual, Queen Bey has something to say in response.
They were very, very aware of everything before it was done. There have been comments on the radio that I can't get into it legally, but there have been comments on the radio stating that they knew exactly what was going on. I called them personally and said that I would be a bigger woman and call them and confront them.
Matthew also spoke up in an old interview about how ludicrous it was that the girls wanted to have a separate manager from him. He claimed that the label would never allow them to get another manager while they remained in the group. But aside from all this, it was shocking seeing that the girls group, which had heads bobbing, lost 2 members just like that. I mean, there were rumors of Matthew secretly prepping Beyoncé for a solo career, which lends more to Farrah's accusation of Matthew favoring Beyoncé. However, it happened that way, leading people to wonder whether Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, was truly doing something wrong to the girls. The court eventually settled the lawsuit by ordering that they receive royalties from the song, since they, in truth, all recorded the song together. And according to Robertson, she receives royalties for her vocals and contribution as part of writer of Say My Name. But this isn't everything, guys. If you're thinking Matthew Knowles didn't sexually abuse Farrah, how about we do a little time travel and see this piece of evidence for ourselves? There's a fat chance that Farrah may have been right about Mr. Knowles, as he was caught up in a case where his ex-wife, Tina Knowles, had to file for a divorce. According to news sources, Matthew had an affair with actress Alexandra Wright, who also gave birth to a son for Matthew. Tina Knowles was not in agreement with what had happened. And what did she do? She filed for a divorce. In December 2009, the couple was split for good, and according to Knowles, with no hope of coming back. However, they remained friends and coexist in other areas amicably. But Matthew Knowles didn't just end with Wright. The former Destiny's Child manager was reported to have impregnated Sequoia Branscombe, who also had a baby from him in Texas. Now, I know this sounds like a lot, but it's going to be quite difficult to believe that Matthew Knowles not only may have made advances on Farrah, but he may have also carried out the act of sexual abuse. So what does this all mean then? Could Matthew Knowles truly be doing all of this? Even to the point where his daughter, Beyoncé, eventually had to see him for who he truly was? Well, now that we've seen the possibility that Matthew Knowles may be guilty of these rumors, we hope he and Farrah find a middle ground to work things out.